Greetings, Charlotte 49ers. This is Dr. Tom Fisher from the Office of Field Experiences. And if you're watching this cartoon about the basics of clinical experiences, then that means you're thinking about becoming an educator. So then, if you're thinking about becoming an educator, the Cato College of Education is a really good place to start. My job here is to make sure after this cartoon and screencast that you fully are aware of what clinical experiences are, how to go about making them, and how to document and report those experiences. So let's get to it. So your first question is probably this: what do I mean by clinical experiences? Clinical experiences are school site visits where our candidates will interact with teachers, administrators, and students to see how the whole process works and to understand the path they have chosen. You will have coursework from your instructors based around your visits to the schools and the hours that you log at these school sites. It's our way of showing you how theory is put into practice. You will get a chance to see a variety of schools as well as get right into the classrooms where they'll be expecting you. You'll get to see firsthand the skills and practices that you'll be learning about in your coursework. There will be schools and districts that serve urban, suburban, and rural student populations. There will be STEM, magnet, and other specialty schools as well. Because UNC Charlotte has dozens of school district partners, so if there is a population you want to work with, we can put you there. So I could go on, and I will. Or should I say, the real me will talk lots more about the actual experiences in the screencast that follows this brief cartoon introduction. What's next then, you ask? Signing up is next, and it's pretty easy. The Office of Field Experience is now using an online database of schools with slots for students, so you'll be able to log in and sign up early in the semester and not get behind on those hours or assignments. Hey, did I mention the Office of Field Experiences yet? Sometimes referred to as OFE, this is your one-stop shop for all things clinical. Here's some ways to find us and contact us. We at OFE will help you find schools that best fit the area you live, whether it's near campus or well outside that region. We provide contact information so you can get in contact and make arrangements to visit the schools as soon as possible. We do have some serious legal issues we expect you to follow, because security at schools is no joke, so have identification ready. And you'll almost certainly be required to do a background check before they'll allow you to visit. Dave, you did get a background check, right? And everything's okay, right? Of course it is. We knew it all along. Now get in there and start observing. Okay, so you're in. You're good to go. Now comes the real work. You need to attend regularly, and you need to keep track of when you go. And you'll need some guidance on what you need to see or observe. Guess what? OFE's got your back on this, too. We have downloadable attendance logs for you to use every time you visit your school site. And we have progressive checklists for each successive semester of classes that you take. These checklists are packed with activities and experiences we would like you to have as you visit your schools throughout the course of the semester and your time in the Cato College of Education. There are 4 different checklists, and they follow the progression of your coursework from introductory all the way up until the semester before you student teach. They are meant to assist you in understanding what it takes to be a teacher both in and out of the classroom setting, with both instructional and non-instructional experiences. We would love you to complete all of these checklists as you progress and also hit 100% of the suggested activities listed, but we'll be realistic and accept 75% and direct you to the experiences marked priority to start with. Lastly, with the checklist, we'll have you upload them to TaskStream, our college's e-portfolio system, making it an all-digital process that's really user-friendly. Hey, let's go back to attendance real quick. We need to stress that you keep very accurate records of your visits and make sure to get them signed at every visit. Make sure to build rapport and respect with the faculty and staff at your clinical school site and communicate regularly to avoid conflict and confusion about who you are and what you're doing at the school. I'll talk more about this in the module called the 49er Way. The attendance logs, just like the checklist, will be easily uploaded to DashStream at the end of each semester. Ain't technology great? There you have it, the basics of clinical experiences to get you started. If you still have questions, wait until after viewing the next part of this module, which is a detailed screencast of the material I just briefly touched upon. If questions remain, then by all means, contact us in OFE. Here's those options again. Thanks for watching this introduction. Enjoy the screencast that follows, and I look forward to getting you signed up and in the schools very soon. Greetings, Charlotte 49ers, and welcome to the screencast explaining the basics around the signing up and completing clinical experiences in your Cato College of Education coursework. Let's begin with a brief overview of what you can expect to see and learn through this screencast. First, I'll explain what a clinical experience actually is. Then we'll see how to complete the sign-up process for an actual school site. Additionally, we will discuss the checklist and attendance logs you will complete during this clinical experience. And finally, you will see how and where to submit these documents. So, what are clinicals and why are they important? Clinical experiences are meant to be a set of organized, authentic school observations for our candidates during their Cato College of Education coursework. These experiences will take place with our approved school district partners. This is a chance for our pre-service candidates to interact with our school partners and begin the process of learning their intended craft. Clinical experiences are an important part of the college's goal to give our candidates the opportunity to put theory into practice and take what they've learned in their coursework and apply it in multiple situations in real authentic settings and over multiple semesters. The Cato College of Education strives to establish connections to faculty and administration at districts all around our region and the state of North Carolina. We feel like we truly understand what is needed to be a successful educator in not just our region or state, but anywhere that teachers are needed. Finally, we intend to provide our candidates with high-quality, authentic experiences from their first class all the way through their student teaching internship. Okay, now that we have a better understanding of what a clinical experience will be, the next step is discuss the protocols around signing up for those clinical school placements. First off, no one, unless they are already employed with a school, is allowed to contact a school and make their own arrangements. There's no exception to this. So if you're thinking, hey, I know people at my old high school, I think I'll go there. Don't bother. This is not allowed and will not be counted as an official clinical experience in your records. The Office of Field Experiences will handle and manage all clinical placements for our candidates. Some faculty programs will make whole class placement, as the slide notates, but those instructors still work with the Office of Field Experiences to make sure communication on candidate numbers and visits are very clear. Now on to the actual signing up process. Aside from those courses and programs where your instructor works with OFE to secure your placement, everyone will use the online system for early clinical experiences. This database is managed by OFE and is not available until after the semester begins for UNC Charlotte students and those of our school partners. While we appreciate our candidates' enthusiastic approach to getting started right away, we need to give our school partners time to start their school semesters before welcoming our candidates onto their campus. For fall semester, this time frame will be late August, and for spring semester, late November. Okay, so now we know what clinical experiences are and how to secure one. But before we can move on to discuss checklists and attendance, we want to stress some very important legal matters and address some proper etiquette issues around your placement. First off, your placement is your placement, and you will honor it and not change it. Exceptions to this rule for any reason must not be done without written approval from OFE personnel. Second, in this day and age of high security concerns at all levels of school, proper ID is required. In fact, in most of our school partner sites, an official background check will be needed. No one is allowed to visit a school district or site where this is required without doing so in advance. We expect and appreciate you honoring these legal and ethical expectations. So now we have reached the point in the screencast to discuss the college's expectations of our candidates as it relates to attendance. First off, all candidates will only receive one school site placement for the completion of their hours. The only exception to this rule is for those programs that offer K-12 teaching licensure. Programs such as special ed, the arts, and teaching English as a second language. If you are enrolled in any of these programs, you will be made well aware of these requirements by your advisor and instructors throughout the program to eliminate any confusion. New in the fall of 2017 is our college's requirement that all candidates in the College of Education programs will need to complete a minimum of 30 hours, and that those 30 hours be spread over 8 to 10 weeks of the semester. Spreading out your hours will allow you more time at the school and give you an opportunity to experience many different activities, events, and processes that take place at the school rather than trying to just complete the hours in just 2 to 3 weeks or in 4 to 5 visits. We also encourage you to go over the minimum 30 hours if your schedule and that of the school permits. Here is a good visual representation of what your semester and clinical experiences could look like under this new expectation for spreading out clinical hours. Keep in mind, we have taken into consideration possible delays in starting your clinicals, as well as holidays, work days, and exams. So in a semester that is 14 to 15 weeks in length, 8 to 10 weeks of visits is quite an acceptable expectation for our candidates to meet. A final note on attendance expectations deals with the topic of candidates with multiple classes in the Cato College of Education that require clinical experiences. In the past, there have been instructors that allowed their students to share hours. This means when a candidate had hours for 2 different courses, they could count it for both classes, as long as they did the correct assignments. Some instructors did not allow this, and candidates might end up doing upwards of 50 to 60 hours in a semester, or at least they might try to. As of the fall semester of 2017, candidates will do the minimum 30 hours, and they will count for all courses you're enrolled in that require clinical hours. The only exception to this would be if your program or course requires clinical hours at a non-school-based site. This is up to the program advisors and instructors to communicate. So if you're concerned about this, please consult them for further information on non-school site requirements. Another new addition to clinical experiences in the fall of 2017 will be the availability of uniform checklists for candidates to use while on those school partner sites. These checklists are designed to help our candidates better maximize their time and enhance their experiences. As indicated, the checklist, like all the other materials in this module, can be found at the OFE homepage, listed on this slide and throughout this screencast. Before we move on and take a look at the checklist information, I want to emphasize that these checklists are new to students and to many faculty, and that you must prioritize your actual course instructor's assignments first and foremost. The checklists are recommended observational activities, but not your primary focus. Let this helpful visual remind you of your true focus and possible overall goal of doing both the required assignments and the recommended checklists. Now let's take a quick look at these checklists and how they're spread out and what they ask our candidates to do while visiting our school partner sites. The first checklist is a pre-admission checklist, which means for those introductory courses that candidates might take prior to being admitted to an actual Cato College of Education program. Courses such as EDU 2100 or MDSK 2100 could use this checklist. Checklist 1 would be used for courses that candidates take as their very first program course, and this will vary greatly depending on your program. Checklist 2 is a midpoint in your program area and could be after 3 courses or as many as 5 within your program of study. The final checklist, or checklist 3, is for all candidates to use in the last semester of coursework before your student teaching or graduate internship semester. All checklists, regardless of level, are full of useful instructional and non-instructional experiences that will only heighten your ability to manage your student teaching graduate internship semester. However, it may not be possible to complete all the activities in each checklist as you progress. We would love to see you reach 100% completion on the checklist, but this upcoming semester, a 75% completion rate is acceptable. Here is a good visual representation of what you can expect to see with the checklists. You can see that there are clear directions and a table of activities, experiences for candidates to participate in or observe. Most importantly, you can see that some items are highlighted and listed as priority. These are items that you should attempt first before addressing the others. You can also clearly see spaces for dates of completion and mentor-teacher signature. Therefore, it is imperative when doing these activities to have a physical copy along to keep track and record those required signatures. So you might be asking yourself, are these checklists going to be used as some sort of grade? So to clarify that point, currently the checklists are optional for course instructors to use as a requirement and a grade, as they are brand new to everyone this fall of 2017, except for a few pilot programs. The checklists and completion rates will be monitored via TaskStream, or they will be uploaded. But in no way will a candidate be evaluated for a grade on these checklists by the college. Once again, this will not be a college-required grade, but may be used by individual instructors this upcoming semester. Finally, to validate the use of these checklists, it is important to point out that they are closely aligned with InTask, the Interstate Teacher Assessment and Support Consortium, and EdTPA standards. These are the standards that all student teachers and graduate interns will be evaluated on prior to and during student teaching in order to be recommended for licensure. So you can see how useful they can be and will be during your coursework progression. Before we move on from this checklist, I'd like to remind you once again, having it digitally for your school visits is fine, but because completion requires signatures, please plan to have a physical paper copy as well. We are now nearing the end of this screencast on the basics, and it's time to clarify what your forms will look like and where you will submit them so that your instructors and the Office of Field Experiences have a record of your time in the schools. Here is a visual representation of the actual attendance log you will use when visiting our school partner sites. Once again, the OFE link is displayed. The attendance logs, just like the checklists, it will be imperative to have a physical paper copy with you for every school visit in order to verify your attendance with dates and signatures completed by school partner faculty. During the explanation of the checklist, TaskStream was referred to as the final destination for those checklists. That is also where your attendance logs will need to be uploaded. Okay, so before we move on, I'd better explain what TaskStream is. TaskStream is the Cato College of Education e-portfolio system. New users will be given instructions on how to sign up or activate their e-portfolio by enrolling in a program area during their initial program course. Once activated, candidates will simply use the same NinerNet credentials used for email and Canvas to access TaskStream. Once you are an active user of TaskStream, you will be able to simply self-enroll in any program you are required to complete coursework for. The portfolio for the checklist and attendance logs is titled Field Experiences. A helpful PDF with screenshots on how to enroll can be found at the displayed OFE link. As mentioned in previous slides, course instructors throughout the Cato College of Education are made aware of all e-portfolio requirements for their courses and programs, so they can also be a good resource. Lastly, if you need further assistance, it can be found here at the TaskStream page for the Cato College of Education, which will include contact information for individuals managing this database. Wow, we made it. The basics of clinical experiences explained. Now it's your turn to get to work, checking out placement options, securing one, and finding out which checklists are best for you this semester, or which your instructors may require. If you still have questions, then the Office of Field Experiences is here to help. You can reach us by phone or email, and even find us on the main floor of the Cato College of Education building. Okay, thank you for watching, and good luck working with our school partners this semester.